Hey guys, Jay here. So new build. This is my well, this is a skill that nobody used this league because it's been nerfed to the ground. So I decided to try it, but you know it's not like the main star of the show here. So I am playing with the Gray Wind Axe, and it is this item over here, right? So also I use the 5-1 Rocket Blow. It gives me basically life scaling for flat damage on the axe and also for increased damage on the shield, because I scale ignite and the shield gives me damage over time, increased damage over time, which work with ignite. So this build actually worked very well for stuff like blight and this kind of encounter as well, where you kind of stand in the middle, and if you use Volcanic Fissure of Sneaking, if you just slam on the ground anywhere, it will just cover like basically all angle 360. So yeah, monster would just come and they would just die, and you can just kind of like sit in the middle. There is a shield here which block the monsters from coming quicker, so it's slightly annoying, but yeah, no problem. Eventually it would just come, right? You can see at the top right of the screen here the minimap. Monsters come and then they disappear before they even got into the screen, most of them. Some of the monster might, you know, be lucky and get through, and, you know, when they get close to the center, they for sure will get slammed because they come to your pointer, where your first slam is. And yeah, we just kind of like semi-AFK here, which is kind of nice. So you can see I scale a lot of life for this build. I am having 15.6k life here at character level 91. And, well, I think, you know, to balance out the character to have the most amount of DPS and maybe even tankiness, I should forego a little bit of life in, like, favor of more damage scaling, more dot multi, and maybe other defenses of layers. Right now, layer of defenses. English is very hard. Anyway, right now, I only have a lot of life. I have, like, normal cap resistant at 75, 76%. And then I have 5 endurance charges, but that is it. I don't have armor, I don't have evasion, I don't have any extra layer of defenses, so this character, even though it looks like it is tanky AF, but in fact it is not really. Where is the way? Wait, I think here. It is not the way. Also, fuck. Where is it? Okay, I think I found it. Is the only way left. And here we go straight and we go down. Just, you know, when we go through, just leave a Volcanic Fissure of Snaking. And it will kill monster. We can get the loot later when we get out, and here we are. Right? Hey, not too bad. Hey, 4 womb gift is not bad. If for a sword, whatever. So yeah, let's just finish the rest of the map here. See if we got any luck. And kind of showcase just a regular mapping scenario. I'll try to be quick in the tempo as well. But tempo is one of my method of making money still. So yeah, at least for characters like this. For Caswin Stun character, I either AFK Simulacrum for div card, and then I open the div card. Basically, I gamble all the loot from Simulacrum, which mostly is div card, and then also the voices. Megalomaniac, I just opened them all, and eventually we will hit something big. So far, actually, I have hit a House of Mirror, so roughly 70 Divine, but the total amount of div card that I have used is probably equivalent to at least 40 Divine. So it is a win, not gonna lie, but it's not a really insane big win. It could have been very much worse. Okay, adjacent. Nice. Now I can connect this to the gem room, and potentially we will have a tier 3 gem room almost guaranteed. We just need to hit that once. in like 8 leftover. So the character here, you know, it feels pretty nice, but it is not tanky, so sometimes it feels a little bit weird to play, at least for me, right? Because I'm very used to playing with tanky character where I don't need to care about most stuff. Okay, here it is. Connect to the what? Okay, connect to the gem room, and it is the only room that is connected, and it will always give +1 to that room. Anyway, let's just continue with the map, right? So Volcanic Fissure Snaking is not the highest damage skill, but it has very, very good mechanics still, even though it is nerfed right quite heavily. But because we are building around like proliferation, so we don't need to rely on like hitting enemies multiple times. We just need to hit them once every few seconds when an ignite wears off. Then we get another ignite in, for example, if the boss can actually survive. Right? Most of the map bosses will not survive one single ignite, so there's no problem there. Okay, we got the Fun Shrine, so it feels a lot better, obviously. Fun Shrine is insanely good. Okay, let's kill the boss. Okay, the boss is actually dead. I forgot that I just killed the boss already. Okay, blueprint. Fuck it. Let's just finish the rest of the map. And we could get to the character, right? Another shrine, whatever. Okay, 11 monsters left. That's good enough. Let's get out. Okay, so here's the character. I will go through it. I try to go through it quickly. So Raywin and Grathpith, you will need the 5% increased damage over time per 100% maximum life. By the way, the non-damaging element you inflict with critical strike is pretty hard to do in this build, so I just like give it up anyway. And right now I am having Resolute Technique. I think, right, maybe if I get like more levels, I can get into an Elemental Overload setup, and then maybe I'll get accuracy somewhere, and maybe here, and just like a little bit of accuracy, just enough to make the character like hit at like probably 90% hit rate is okay, because we are Ignite, right? We are not going to rely on hit damage to do the heavy lifting. We are just going to hit them once, and then the Ignite would deal most of the damage. So therefore, we can potentially get a little bit of crit into the build. Maybe we will get the crit from this setup, Bladeful of Trathis. I'm linking it to Combustion and Elemental Proliferation and increased AoE. So we technically don't need increased AoE. We kind of don't need a Prolif as well. I can just give a like Power Charge on crit and then increase critical strike into the Bladeful of Trathis, because we are blood magic. So Bladeful of Trathis, you can just always turn it on, and it will not cost anything, basically. It will basically never cost anything. The cost of the skill is nothing. It doesn't show anything here, and it doesn't drain your life, because you have 0 mana, so this skill base cost is based off of your maximum mana, so 0, so it's 0, if that makes sense. I am using this life stacking setup with the prostate body armor. That is what I normally call it. It gives you life instead of ES on your other armor pieces. So this is going to give some life instead of ES on the shield, on the helmet, and boots and gloves. And it will just give you quite a lot of life. So therefore you can scale it with your skill tree and get a lot of increased maximum life and get to this number or higher. I am not using Dissolution of the Flesh, by the way. I have a jewel slot that I am using a rare jewel, which I can use to actually use Dissolution of the Flesh. I tried it, but it still feels a little bit like not for me, basically. So there's a lot of problem with it that I'm not used to play with. So maybe if people already played with it and like destroy screens with like some big AoE and fast casting skill, this is not the kind of the one that you want to go for it. But if you use the Dissolution of the Flesh, you can easily reach like 20. Maybe if you go harder on life, you can reach easily like 25k life. I think in PoE Ninja, people have reached like 28k life is the highest one, with building around this Spectral Axe, the Grey Wind. So you guys can, if you want to, you can look at those setup and see if you can learn anything to improve your setup. But here is my like own take on it. So yeah, ring is a reflected ring with a little bit of extra maximum life and just chaos resistance, so I can cap my chaos rest. And I am using a Eye of the Great Wolf. Now, this is not the best in slot body for the build. I think the most tanky one is going to be the Defiance of Destiny, because of how much life we are having. That is going to recover so much life while mapping. You are going to be basically immortal. But I think it's a little bit cheesy, and Defiance of Destiny does not give you any damage. If you want the most amount of damage, I think the best one is going to be a rare Simplex Amulet. I don't know if Simplex is the right base, but there's a base that gives you only 3 modifier. I think it is Simplex, and then you will get maximum life tier 1 on it, and then you will try to reflect it and try to get a 500 life-ish. Let me just bring up a PoE trade website here. I am not really used to using it in game. It is much harder to actually use in game than here. So Amulet life, total maximum life 555. I would just bring up example, right? Wait a minute. This is in-person trade only, so this is weird. All right, cool. So for example, we can have things like this, right? Plus 2 level all physical skill gems, whatever, 550 life. This is pretty incredible, right? So if you can have something like this or something like this, this is actually very good. We don't crit, so we don't care about the crit multi, and increased damage while leeching, which actually happen all the time. I think this can be a really good amulet. Holy, should I buy it? Should I buy it? Because I can. But anyway, this is going to give you a lot more life if you compare it to the just merely 28 maximum life. And by the way, if you want to do the kind of amulet, this one, right? If you want to craft one yourself, the best modifier is going to be this one. And you want the life and the damage over time multiplier to both be positive and pretty big, then that will be best in slot. But this one, unfortunately, it is reversed, so it's not as good. And yeah, what a bummer. So anyway, this is the character, right? On the skill, I am using a slam. This is just whatever slam you prefer to use, or whatever skill that you can use with an axe that you prefer to use. Fist of War is insane. If you use slam, you are going to benefit from this. 100% more damage with hits and ailment. We care about ailments and more AoE for better clear, basically. We don't need to spam the attack. We just need to like do it every few seconds to just get an ignite going, basically. So therefore, this is insanely good for this setup. Awaken elemental damage with attacks. This gem, if you get it to level 5, it actually is the same price as the level 1. Because they feel corrupt, and so they sell it cheap to cut the cost, basically. So this one, minus 1% quality, it's just 1% damage, and it is increased, so it basically is nothing. But it allows me to not take reflected elemental damage, so I can run reflect map without a problem. Ignite Proliferation, level 20, 20% quality. And Awaken Burning Damage and Awaken Deadly Ailment. We'll eventually get this to level 5 and then corrupt it. See if we get like more quality or more level, right? But this is the main damage setup. I also have the Bladeful Trathis. Again, I think I should change this immediately. But, oh no, I forgot. Right now I am relying on this, so I cannot change it. But right now I am using Blissful Trathis and increased AoE, Elemental Prolif, and Combustion. So when this ignite enemies, it is going to give me minus 10% fire resistant on the enemy, so they will take more damage, take more fire damage specifically. This is movement, shield charge, faster attack, and flame dash for like instant blink in some situation that you want. Cast damage taken with Immortal Coal for defenses. And then I get a summon Chaos Golem in here for dot multi and maybe a little bit of Chaos Resistant as well. Without the Golem, I will also still be like on maximum Chaos Resistant. However, yeah, it is just mostly for damage. And when I take like a couple of hits, it will just summon. So basically, I will always have it on. Right now is a weird time where I actually don't. So maybe I can summon it and I can see I will have a lot more Chaos Resistant, right? So 88% was before the Chaos Golem. And here is Petrified Blood. This is actually a single link. It doesn't need to be linked to the other three. Flammability with Elemental Weakness and Bane. I am using Bane to curse enemies. I think maybe I will switch to Arcanist brand, but it's kind of the same. It's just one button you press on bosses and then they will curse. They will be cursed with both the curses. And then the aura setup, I am having Herald of Ash. This is a Herald and it gives like more AoE clear, more visual impressiveness, kind of, if you have a nice MTX. And then it gives 38% more burning damage, which is, you know, more damage for the build, which is really insane for one link. And Eternal Blessing support, linked to Arrogant support, and Malevolence. So Malevolence normally costs 50% mana or life to reserve. If you link it to Eternal Blessing, it becomes free, so 0% reservation, and therefore the Arrogant support, when you link to it, it will not increase the cost of this skill. So therefore, you would just gain benefit from the increased aura effect from the gem. So just link it like this, and this gem will have some extra aura effect, and it will be stronger. I'm having a level 21 here. It's pretty cheap, no quality needed. This 2030 is kind of the cheaper one. And yeah, that is all the gem setup. Belt is just life, percent life, and some resist, some strength if possible. And on the skill tree, we are a witch, so we start here and we get out. And this area is for the Venn diagram jewel setup. So you can actually use the cheaper version, which is the passive skill grant plus the 5 maximum life, which is like 2 chaos. And it will give you roughly 1.5k life more than this, but the increased fire damage is just superior in the total amount of damage. So therefore, I have to use this one. The other one looks at the life looks nicer. It's like 17.2k something, but this one is just more damage, like a lot more. And then we have a natural instinct to have all the passive in this radius, and a lot of them actually get increased fire damage because of Light of Meaning here. And last but not least, Foulborn Mike the Meek. This is the new addition to this league. I already made a video about this whole setup, and then maybe go a little bit further, but this time for this character, I'm not scaling the aura. I am just going for this for like increased fire damage and a lot of stat in general, including 15% movement speed in these 3 nodes here. Really, really nice, right? So we have a lot of stat from this area. I think this is just really, really good. And we are going for a lot of life wheels to get all the life mastery. So life and life here. And life here, and this is also a life wheel that doesn't need any extra point for traveling, so I just take it. But this is pretty bad, not very efficient. Still, you know, it is worth it to take the quick point for the mastery, and we get 10% more life. We have 15% life because our body armor is actually does not have any life modifier, so we still have 15% from there. Really nice. And the last important one is the 55% maximum life as low life threshold. So you actually can recover to 55% instead of 50%, which is the base number, which is another 10% higher, basically, mathematically speaking. And I take 2 endurance charges here. I take a resolute technique. I have a Watcher's Eye, and I'm immune to bleeding and poison through Malevolence. This thing is actually super cheap, only 2 div. Yeah, 2 to 3 div. There's quite a lot of them on the market. So yeah, this is pretty good. So we don't need to worry about bleeding, and we don't need to worry about also poison. This area is the last interesting one, but I will quickly mention these two first. So first of all, I go all the way here, even though it is not very efficient. It is much more efficient for more damage to get these 3 and then the exposure mastery. However, this is really good because of Invigorating Blaze. Recover 2% life when you ignite a non-ignited enemy. So it is basically life gain on hit when you ignite an enemy. And with 15k life, this is 300 life instant gain on igniting an enemy that is not ignited. So therefore, while mapping, we basically have infinite recovery. We don't need regen, we don't need leech, we don't need anything from mapping. We always just like go up to full, except for if you get like either overwhelmed or die from one very, very big hit. Those are the only situation that you can kind of die, but you know, without those situation, you may not like really get like swarm and then die as long as you hit something and ignite something. This is pretty insane. By the way, there is another source of this kind of thing, which is the Foulborn Diadem Dawn. If you get this version, and specifically this version, there is also a double Foulborn version and another one that remove the ignite, deals damage faster. I think this is the best one, because when you chill a non-chilled enemy, you also gain 2% life. So this is basically exactly the same thing as this, but it is chill, and as an elementalist, we always chill. Just with Shaper of Winter. So I think if we use this belt, and I think this belt is even more damage than the actual like looks. This looks much more impressive. Increase and maximum life and strength looks much more impressive. However, Diadem's Dawn is basically 25% more damage because we don't have any source of ailment do damage faster. So this is just a 35% multiplier. So I will probably eventually change into Diadem's Dawn, but I will need to balance out my other gear as well, because right now I am having a lot of chaos resistant, like relying on this particular slot. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to eventually switch this back into the slot here instead of the belt. So I can remove these for 6 points, and then I can get 1, 2, 3, and still get the mastery. And then 3 points, I have a lot of place that I can spend it. I can get rage, maximum rage. I can get insane regen from these 3 nodes here. Really, really insane, actually. And yeah, maybe I can get some other things as well. You know, I don't know. There is probably even like filling the 6% life node is going to be like really good. Each 6% life is like 400-ish life, which is really good. So yeah, that is more damage, more survivability, all those things. And the last thing that I want to mention in this video and about the passive skill tree here. Oh, sorry, second last thing. Quickly, this is the ascendancy, Shaper of Storm, Shaper of Winter, Shaper of Flame, and Mastermind Discord. Very self-explanatory. You chill, shock, ignite enemies all the time, and you reduce their resistances to deal more damage for a single target, mostly. And this is the last one, Foulborn, the Red Dream. Now this jewel by itself is not that expensive, but the whole setup is pretty expensive. Right now I am having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 fire resistant tattoo, and each of them cost like 80 chaos. Super freaking expensive. I think a lot of people was using this setup. Anyway, this is again super freaking expensive. So each point is giving 6% fire resist, but with this jewel is also give 4% life, because 75% of that is giving us life. And in this area we also have naturally elemental resistant here, we have fire resistant here, elemental resistant, and over here we have also again 5% elemental resistant and 15% elemental resistant, which result in 11% extra maximum life. So this area is insanely juicy. If I remove this, I lost like more than 2,000 life just by itself, 2.3k. So this is very good, and highly recommend to eventually get the tattoo going, and then you will have like a lot of extra life, which is really good for this build. Again, it gives everything. Life is everything. So for the next couple of levels, I am going for this one and 10% max rage. Why max rage? Because I have a little bit more damage overtime multiplier scaling from the weapon, 2% fire dot multi per rage. It also gives up to 5 maximum rage. It can be negative to positive 5 maximum rage. Right now, I think my rage maximum is just 30 plus 5 is 35, but eventually it will be 45 in 2 levels. So that is potentially 90% fire damage over time multiplier. So that is really good, right? And 90% fire dot multi is going to be a lot of extra damage. Right now I'm having 1 rage here, I'm having 1 rage here. I think I am going to remove the 1 rage on attack hit on the gloves here and get the ignite proliferate on the gloves. So even the ignite from the explosion of Foulborn Direct Respite here is going to ignite and prolif everywhere. So the explosion is going to be more chain reacted basically, and it will be more impressive, more explosion, more Michael Bay, whatever. So anyway, TLDR for this build. Monkey see big number on live, monkey happy. That's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Peace.